looking at how much someone is able to turn their arm over, what we typically look at is it might be that you have no ability to turn your arm over, but when we assess, so Jackie, if I can get you to try and turn your hand over, so Jackie's got really nice movement to be able to turn it over in that position, and can you go back the other way? The other way. Jackie does have good movement, but that's not essential. We often use a NeuroBall as a way of trying to get the activity going. So if I get you, Jackie, I'm going to pop your hand in there, and if you place your thumb and little finger in there as well. Okay, so when doing this, when we're looking at turning over, so I'm going to lift the whole ball out. So if I'm working with someone, or if someone is at home and they haven't got that ability to turn their hand over, and Jackie, I'm just doing this quickly for you for speed. So if someone hasn't got the ability to turn their hand over, what this NeuroBall has an unstable surface. So if someone isn't able to, then it's a way of learning to try and get that movement back again. So what we sometimes recommend is, if I get you to hold your arm there, and then try and use your right arm to turn your hand over as much as possible. And you can always use or encourage the movement with the other arm. And then as you start getting used to that as a movement, then you can bring it right to the top. So if we go to the top, and I always relate it top of the hill there, and just, if we just bring it to there, and now hold it there, now try and use this hand to turn it over the other way. So good, okay? So it's taking it to the top, to the highest point, and then using your arm on its own to try and turn them and get the movement going over or going the other way. And likewise with forward and with back. That's lovely. And now let's try the same thing again without this hand. So if you rest that hand down, so I'm going to hold you there. Now, so rolling it over and rolling it back, and now roll it forward and then bring it backwards. So if your wrist is stuck in one position, then you can still use the NeuroBall with your wrist in this position and gradually work to try and get the stretch at that wrist. So to work towards getting your wrist down and then bring it forward and then rolling it forward. So the most important part from a range is about your fingers, that you've got that ability to get your fingers in there. So like I say, even if your wrist is bent up in this position, you can still work on turning backwards, turning forwards, and rolling up and down.